Hi, friends, and welcome to another exciting episode of Moments with Michael.
Okay, hold on. Let's change it up a bit. I will be joining Uncle Mike's today, and instead of you asking the questions, I will be the one to put you on the spot. I'm Anjali Ramlal Singh, one of the frontline dancers, tutors, and performer of the Shiv Shakti Dance Company. And today, we're going to talk about my most favorite topic, makeup. So, we're going to look at bridal makeups. One for a Hindu ceremony and the other for a reception. Okay, Uncle Mike's. So you are known as a dancer, a choreographer, and for doing stage makeup. But not many know that you are a celebrated, established makeup artist. I want you to tell me a little bit about that journey for you.
Well, Anjali, as you know, I also, like you, I started dancing at a very young age. And being involved in the world of dance, you will realize that you should get into so many different aspects of it. One of the main aspects of dance is makeup, lighting, stage, costume, and all that. So I was always fascinated by makeup because, when you look at the movie stars, you see they're looking so beautiful. But in your mind, that has been done by some great makeup artists.
Yes, true.
So I started practicing, doing my own thing with my girls, doing stage makeup and all that. And then I would say it's a God-given gift because
Agreed.
some people are blessed with certain things. For me, not only dance, but makeup was one of them because I think I naturally had a knack for it. I remember creating lines and doing like a beautiful makeup, but I never knew what was the use of the brushes. And they have so many things now with the advent of social media.
True.
You have a brush for everything. Long ago, you have a little spatula, you have a little sponge, and you're there. Sometimes you dot the foundation on your face and you move it, to get it to look flawless. Now there's so much things, but in my time it was simple and the work was beautiful. After that, when Shiv Shakti came into being and people started to see how beautiful the girls look, they want to get a similar look. So they would call, "Hi, Michael, do you do makeup for other people?" I would say yes. And then I started, my first bride I remember was in Rio Claro when I now started dance in 1990. Would you believe? Were you born then?
Nope.
Right?
That is long.
And I was nervous but excited because I say, wow, a bride, because bridal makeup is a very technical thing, which we will get into today and we will talk through detail. Yes, I am a celebrated makeup artist. Some people call me a celebrity makeup artist because I've worked with many celebrities, both here and also abroad. And it it amazes me because every single time I do a face, the result is always different. The application may be similar, but the result is always different. So here today, I have two girls just to simply show you guys the difference with makeup artistry. So on my right, there is Nicole dressed as a Hindu bride. And to my extreme left, Carrie dressed as a bride ready for her reception.
Let's get into this. What is your process of dressing a bride for a religious ceremony compared to a reception?
Okay, normally for the religious ceremony, that happens first. So, like if you could look at Nicole, that would be for the religious ceremony. So you would see her makeup is done very strong, especially Bollywood brides now. They like this look. If you look at the movies, if you look at Bollywood brides, you would see that the lines are very strong, the ornaments are very beautiful, and as we say, they are well done. The hair is well put together. There's so much things they have to get to fix the hair in a particular way. When it comes to even the hair, it's also like a little science, to get the hair to be strong enough so when you put the ornaments, it doesn't fall. And if everything must come together and it must look beautiful and well packaged. So that makeup takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time because you have to get the lines correctly based on the shape of the face, based on the client you have. Now, you have some clients, they believe looking fair is looking beautiful. So
Yes,
sometimes when
agree.
they call or when they book me or I have a little meeting with the client, they would say, Michael, make me look fair and nice. I would say, hold it down. I say, if you think that looking fair is looking beautiful, then you may have to find another makeup artist because I try to make you look beautiful and as close to your own complexion as I can.
Yeah.
But then you can't just get an ordinary person who can just do makeup to do a bride, for example, like Nicole. That person has to have a skill. They has to know exactly how the earrings have to fit, how the nose pin has to go along, what is the shape of the face. So when you put the bindi together, when you put the bindi, it must be fixed in a certain way. Also, the dupatta or the orni has to fix in a particular way that it doesn't take away from the bride. So sometimes a bride may have to get a makeup artist, a hairstylist, and somebody to dress them.
Yeah.
I consider myself lucky because I think I'm the full package.
It's true.
Okay, so and the beauty about it is, you see, people wait in awe. Like I would have had some of my friends, some of the other makeup artists as well. They told me, in conversation, they say, Michael, long ago when I go to weddings, I only go to see when you dress a bride, and everybody is waiting to see when she's coming down the stairs or she's making an entrance. To go, wow, what a transformation. For me, that is the true glory as a makeup artist because you know why? It's beautiful. Reversed a little bit. Now, with the advent of these phones and the Samsung and all these big time phones, you know this process, Angeli? When you take a photo, they zoom that photo and they keep going.
Yeah.
So, as a makeup artist, you have to make sure all the time your work is flawless. I am not a person believing how you all do this thing on the phone, how you call it? Filters and Photoshop, and I don't believe in that. Because personally, I'm not tooting my own horn. Yeah. Personally, I believe my work looks more beautiful in real than when it is photographed.
It's true.
You would say yes because you dance with me, and my friends will think, oh, it's, you were just saying that. But I would love for people to see my work. Now, when you look on my left, we go to the reception bride. Okay, Kerry. Okay. So this is just a demonstration of how a bride for a reception should look. So when you compare it to Nicole and you compare it to Kerry, you would see the face is totally different. The makeup application is different. The shading is different. The challenge is when you have that same bride on one day, to transform that bride into two looks. Sometimes it's three. Most of the times it's three looks. So you want them to look different the three times that they are photographed and the three times that you see them. So when it comes to, let's say Nicole would be the bride that you do at the first look. To transform that look to this look is a challenge. The problem is not doing the work, but the time that is involved. Because you always have, okay, are you guys ready? You all ready? You all ready? Because the photographer is there waiting to get the photos. So you have to be skilled and you have to be fast. You have to be quick on the draw. You don't have people waiting an hour for the bride to come in. So you have to have your plan in place, have everything set so that you can transform this bride without having to take off all the foundation, all the contour and all that. It's all for me, it's all a science.
So, Uncle Mike, forget about stage makeup, everyday makeup, and bridals. You have done numerous faces for pageant stage, and you have won best makeup. How does it feel when you hear your name called on that stage when they say best makeup by Michael Salickram?
Oh, well, I feel happy, elated, but very humbled because every time I do a face, especially for a queen show, for me it's a challenge because I love makeup and you know that you are up against big guns.
Yes.
You have some really good makeup artists out there. You don't know which makeup artist is working with which girl. And then sometimes, it can be a little bit challenging, especially even with the dressing room facilities. You don't have proper lighting, so you just have to make do with the situation. But it's really humbling, when you hear best makeup artist and my name is called. I mean, I have achieved so much when it comes to makeup, not just dance, makeup. It's amazing. But I want to put you on the spot, Anjali. You won Miss Lauren Rive in what year?
2018, yeah.
2018, you won Miss Lauren Rive. You remembered what was one of the problems we had encountered?
Yes.
You got this
Oh my
little thing in your
God.
eye, and you were there sitting down in the dressing room, and I remembered you so worried, and one eye is swollen, and you say, Uncle
Yeah.
Michael, what we're going to do? I said, yeah, let's put God in front and let's go with it. And you're there worried, and the eye was hurting you so much.
So much.
And I was
yeah.
very delicate doing the application. And what happened in the end?
We won best makeup. I was very shocked.
Yes.
But I mean, you're the best of the best. If you can cover up and make a swollen eye look so good and win best makeup, it's really a gift. That left hand, it works magic.
Oh, thank you. But all in all, again, it's the outcome, it's the final look. And when you look at them, for me, the real glory is, when you at the end of it, when you just, I'm sure all the makeup artists looking at this will agree. When you work with them and they're worried, but when you show them that mirror and you see the expression on their face, once they're happy, it's priceless.
It's true. I remember you did my face countless times. Oh my God. He did my face for a queen show. And I slept with that makeup on for a performance the next day.
You know that most of the girls, they do that. I don't advise it, but they do. They do.
No.
I remember Suzanne Badri.
Yeah.
When Susie used to dance, and she find that, in fact, she was Miss Mastana 1999, and she would go home 2 o'clock in the morning after she performed, and go and stick her mommy in the feet, and stick Auntie Shirley. And Shirley said, "What happened, girl?" She said, "Look at me. Look how pretty I look." Shirley said, "Okay, you're looking good." She will go and put on the light. She said, "No, no, no. You just say that because you want me to go in my bed." Shirley would say, "Oh God, Susie, you're looking good, girl." She said, "No, watch me good and sit up in the bed." And she would have to sit up in the bed and watch Susie and say, "Susie, you look pretty." I would have beat Susie so much and said, "Susie, get in bed and pull my sheet and go and sleep."
No, you're just that good.
Thank you, thank you.
Now that you've covered bridal makeup, what are your thoughts on stage makeup and everyday makeup, like for work, etc.?
Oh my God, this is a touchy subject.
Yes, it
So
is.
let's take stage makeup. Stage makeup is also something that you have to understand. You have to understand lighting. You have to understand the time of your performance. You have to understand the type of stage that you're working with, the type of filming that they will be doing, because the makeup has to stand out. When you look, again, I would use Bollywood as a reference. When you look at the movie stars in a Bollywood movie, they look absolutely amazing and flawless. But when you see those same stars performing on a live concert, the makeup is totally different. It's very strong. The corners of the eyes are really dark, and it makes the eyes pop because remember, you're looking at a live performance, and you're not going like with a camera to get it. So the dancer or the artist must look just amazing on stage.
Yeah.
So a lot of people get confused with that. But why I laughed and smiled before when you asked me about everyday makeup or work makeup. Guys, have you ever walked into some of these establishments and you see some of those people wearing makeup? Now, I have nothing against it. I'm just saying it from my heart because I think we are all here to learn. Every day we learn something new.
Yeah.
Sometimes the eyebrows are so strong and those eyelashes are screaming. When you look at the person, all you see is those long, long eyelashes screaming at you and those eyebrows. And in my own humble way, I call them drag queen eyebrows. They're blocked, they're strong, they're black, and they are just saying, hello, just look at me. I think people get so confused. I know most of you will agree with me, and some people might object, but this is just my opinion. I think they need to understand that less is more. I see that all the time. If you're wearing makeup to go to work, you have to look as natural as possible. You go lighter on the eyebrows. Like, okay, again, you look at Nicole, the eyebrows are strong because she's a Hindu bride. Carrie eyebrows, they're a little bit softer because it's for reception. But if you're working, you have people coming really close up to you. Nobody's going to photograph you then. And you just want to look nice, beautiful, and complete. You look along the nude line. So you go with a nude lip and you go with light eyebrows. Even though you may like black eyebrows, maybe brown may work. Light brown, or even a little dark brown because some people into the eyebrows. Our next subject, the cheeks. Oh, okay. We'll freeze a little bit. So let me pause on that. The cheeks. The blush is the in thing now, but some people really overdo it with the blush. Again, when you watch them, one guilty one is here. She just love it.
Me too.
Sometimes they come to class and all I see is a big cheeks. I say, good Lord, Mrs. Claus, how are you?
It's called a blush blindness, okay?
So that's a trending thing now?
It's a trending thing.
Okay, well, all right. Well, you see, so we have people with conflicted interests, right? But we clearly need to identify the difference with stage makeup, which is very strong, avant-garde, strong eyebrows, strong eyeliners, beautiful eyelashes, strong color lipstick that will stand out, especially for a dancer. And then everyday makeup, like for work, office, etc. Do your makeup in such a way that it looks natural. Then you may ask, okay, so what if you have to go to an event right after work? Do I just take that makeup off and start all over again? But if I have to get from the office to the function, no. Even in the car, you take 5 minutes and you can transform a regular daytime makeup into something so beautiful in the evening. Simply by just adding a few colors or more on the neutral side, and you can, up the game a little bit on the lipstick.
Agreed.
That being said, I hope you guys understand a little bit more.
So, what are some of your challenges you have faced throughout the years of being a makeup artist?
I remember this one client I had many years ago. Her face was a little bit disfigured because of an accident.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. So when I was called to do this makeup for about 4 people, she was one of them, and I didn't know because in those days you don't look at the client, you don't go, you just show up on the day and start to work.
Yeah.
And when I saw her, I was like, Lord, you have to really guide me because I don't know how I'm going to do this, and you have to create lines and you have to balance. Like as I said before, makeup is about balance and all that. Like when it comes to eyebrows, you can't always get both eyebrows perfect. They are sisters, but they are not identical twins. As that's how you all say it, right?
Yeah.
So it's a challenge, but with that face, it was really challenging for me. And I said, Lord, again, you have to take God with you with everything. Let me see how best I can make this person feel, because for me, makeup and dressing someone is all about making someone feel good about themselves. I'll get back to that. So let me go back to that person with the scarring. I did my best. I worked on her face. Everything was covered. She looked amazing. She was so beautiful at the end of the day. Everybody was watching that girl instead of they was watching the rest of the people that I work with. So like I always say, God is so good. And one thing, Anjali, if you know me, I love to make people look and feel good about themselves.
Agreed. Yeah.
We live in a society and a time where people, if you tell them something good, they say, you know what, your mama guy and me. But it's not that. Not everybody will tell you something good. Not everybody will tell you, oh God, Anjali, you're looking so beautiful today. So let me share something with you. If you're having a bad day, you just left home and you're having a really bad day, and you're upset, and things will frustrate your thoughts in your head, and a stranger walk up to you just out of the blue and say, oh my God, you are so beautiful. Where you get this outfit is so nice. What that would do? Wouldn't that just make you smile?
Yeah, it'll make my day a
I
lot better.
always say, from the word praise comes the word raise. When somebody praise you, they raise you out of that level of consciousness, especially if you're having a negative day, or you're having a bad day, or however you want to call it. So you would be in a crowd where it happens mostly among ladies. They will sit together and they will look at you. You're looking real good, I mean, one of my friends say, you're looking perfect. Everything in place, the hair, the makeup, the clothes. And they will never tell you, wow, you look absolutely amazing. Not me. There must be something in you that I would like. I say, wow, your eyes are so beautiful. Oh my God, I love this outfit. Where you get it from? You don't know what somebody is going through, especially in that time of their life, that time of the day. And you would just say one good thing to that person, and you just raise that person out of that whole negative situation.
All right. What is your biggest pet peeves when it comes to makeup?
Oh, that is easy, Anjali. For me, that would be the misleading guidance that people get on social media. So you want to have a product, to push a product and have it sold.
Yeah.
They pay people, they come online, especially on TikTok and all those social media platforms, and they start saying, this is the best, and this is the best, and this is the best. People have to start understanding their skin type, their undertones, especially when it comes to foundation. They need to understand what is that. Another concern I have is blending. Sometimes people wear foundation that it just does not match the skin. And they feel that, again, as I said earlier on, looking white is looking beautiful. Blend your foundation together with your neckline.
Yeah.
It makes the makeup look complete. Same thing with eyeshadows, especially for everyday makeup and graduation and all that. Blend your colors in so that your makeup look flawless.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are misled with, especially with the TikTokers. They come on TikTok and they show you this makeup look, but it is all filtered.
Yeah.
It's all filtered. One thing you must look at what color outfit they're wearing while they're doing the tutorials. Look at the color of the background and the backlight. And then you would know, okay, so this person's prepared to do this makeup because they're wearing a purple top.
Yeah.
And you will see the backlight, you will see the colors and all that. And then all those filters, all those filters, when you look at it, you tell yourself, wow, is this what I want to look at? That's why most of the times when you have an event to go to, even though you have learned so much, or you think you have learned so much from YouTube and TikTok and the other platforms, you still have to go buy a professional makeup artist to get it done.
Sure.
So you spend your hard-earned money and you buy so much high-end product that does not work for you. My peeve is that you are just wasting your money.
Yeah. As we wrap up this very different episode of Moments with Michael, where you are in the hot seat, what advice you would like to give to those who would like their makeup done by a professional makeup artist?
First of all, trust that makeup artist. Allow them to do their job. Very often, you have the client coming to the makeup artist and telling them what they want.
Yeah.
When the makeup artist, who is a professional, knows exactly what they should do and the look that you should have. But you are there, well, I want this done. I don't like my eyebrows this way. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want it next. Sometimes it puts the makeup artist in a little state of fear. Yeah. Sometimes you need to let them do their thing. Let them go. They are all good. All the makeup artists have their own special touch. If you want a particular look, you could chop around and you could see, okay, Michael could give me that look. This person could give me that look. Mr. X could give me that look. And where you feel that you're comfortable, go. But don't go and pressure these makeup artists because they work hard. They're on their feet. They're standing up there and trying to make you look the best you can look. You understand?
Yeah.
Sometimes, I would have clients come in and say, make me look like J-Lo. I am like, okay, All right. And then this is a famous line. I don't wear too much makeup, but they don't realize that the makeup application is similar from
Yeah.
a avant-garde look to just a neutral look. Because you must prepare the face, you must prep the face, you must use all your how you call it? Your primer, your so on and your so on and your so on. So trust the makeup artist. Let them do the work. If at the end you don't like it, as I said before in a nice way, you don't have to go back. Just don't make negative comments and whatever.
Yeah.
Shop around and look around. If you want to try me out, I'm on Facebook, Magic by Michael, and there are many other makeup artists. But go where you are comfortable, where you feel that comfort. But I just hope that I cleared a lot up today when it comes to
You
makeup,
did.
especially the difference between, like, as I would always say, a Bollywood bride as opposed to a bride that goes to a reception. How you get from one look to the next. How you have to make that quick switch. And another thing is how the makeup should last. Because when you look at a bride, like Nicole, for example, if Nicole is getting married, her makeup has to be set so perfectly, especially when she's going around that fire. I think it's 7 rounds they make. That heat, when you sit, if that makeup is not set properly and it starts to run, you are in deep trouble. Whereas in the case of Kerry, this is for the reception. You also have to make sure that that foundation is set properly because the bride is dancing all night. She is partying. She's having drinks. And you don't want to have somebody keep, she's sweating and, your makeup is cracking and it's running and, it's creasing and all that. You have to make sure you apply that foundation perfectly and flawlessly. So that being said, friends, I want to thank you all so much for viewing, for listening, and for supporting me.
Uncle Mike's, it was really nice to have you on the hot seat, and we have learned so much about makeup. So to our audience, our friends, thank you for always supporting Moments with Michael and Shiv Shakti Dance Company. And I hope you all stay tuned for our next episode.